The native plant that we will be focusing on is the Coontie plant that has been lined around the third building.
The Coontie develops as a low, understory plant where the soil is preferably dry, well-drained, and sandy, which is typically located in Central Florida. They are often found in pine flatwoods and hammocks as the Kendall Indian Hammocks Park.
Organisms that depend on this plant as a source of food range from atlas butterflies to various species of birds, including blue jays and mockingbirds. Not to mention, the Coontie plant also provides shelter to organisms such as beetles, butterflies, and moths. One special organism, however, is the atlas butterfly. This butterfly shares a mutualistic relationship with the Coontie plant as they benefit and accommodate each other's needs. The atlas butterfly benefits as the leaves of the plant serve as a primary food source for caterpillars, the larvae phase of the butterfly, while also making them appear unappealing to predators once they develop into butterflies as toxins in their leaves reveal through their bright colors. Meanwhile, the Coontie benefits as the waste of the butterfly aids in fertilizing and providing nutrients to the soil.
The Coontie has been one of the many defining plants for Florida natives and settlers. For example, the Seminoles used the plant for years in the Everglades as a primary staple to outlast the U.S. soldiers during the Indian Wars. Early settlers also used the plant as a substitute for wheat flour. Despite this plant not possessing any medicinal properties, it still served as a vital food source for many primitive Floridians. As Coontie starch became a popular flour substitute for bread making, the plant rapidly became an important export. Almost all of the early Florida families maintained small Coontie mills, which yielded as much as a barrel of starch a week. In modern times, this plant is well suited to Florida's sandy soils and highly tolerant to droughts, making it popular in landscaping, oftentimes accompanying other native plants that require little water. It is especially prevalent in Miami for residential and commercial landscapes, to adorn home lawns and outdoor facilities, or in our case, to decorate our terra landscape as displayed here.
In terms of how the plant obtains its nourishment, it acquires it directly from the soil. Since Florida's soil is dry and sandy, the Coontie plant grows well in this type of environment. In terms of photosynthesis, the Coontie plant does not overly rely on this process as it requires a certain amount of sunlight, as it flourishes best in areas with heavy amounts of shade. Therefore, photosynthesis occurs moderately. The Coontie root system is the most vital part of the plant, as its extensive and branching structure allows the Coontie plant to reach deep below the dry soil to access the underground water. The Coontie plant is pollinated by various organisms, as previously mentioned. However, one is particular. The atlas butterfly serves to be the cradle life source for the plant. This butterfly helps to transfer and deposit the seed from the female cone to the male cones, which allows the center pod-like cone to germinate. Not only does the species pollinate the plant, but it is also responsible for fertilizing the soil.
Coontie plant reproduction can also be conducted manually through human involvement. First, one must distinguish between the female and male conifers, with the primary difference being their appearances. The male cones are tall and slender, meanwhile the female cones are short and wide. Next, the seeds from each cone are gathered and processed, removing all the debris. Then, the seeds must be soaked for a couple of days and dried in the sun. Finally, the seed end is placed where the seed was previously attached to the cone, where the seedling can then grow.
And so therefore, the Coontie plant is a native staple to Florida and should be conserved and protected.